Hi everybody, this is Craig Tanner for The Mindful Eye and the Photo of the Week on the Daily Critique. This week's Photo of the Week was submitted by Ed, who's an intermediate photographer from Coral Springs, Florida. Backstory here, Ed says he just loves to shoot wildlife, and he actually sent us a whole portfolio of wildlife images from 3 different wildlife refuges in Florida, and this was one of my favorites. I chose it as the Photo of the Week. We're going to look at some more in just a minute. Most of these shots are really beautiful bird shots. I'm going to give you the locations here in case you live in Florida or maybe you want to visit Florida, want to find out more about these locations. All these images were created at either the Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge in Palm Beach County in Florida, or Green Cay Wetlands in the same county, Palm Beach County, or at Long Key Natural Area in Davie, Florida. And most of these shots, I'm not going to give you the metadata on every shot, but most of these shots were shot with very long effective focal lengths. Ed was shooting here with Pentax K20D, so there's a conversion factor, and a lot of these images were made with 300, so I'm not sure exactly what the conversion factor is from that camera. That probably gets most of these shots up to around 450 millimeters, and a couple were shot at 600 millimeters. So after the conversion, we're talking about very, very long telephoto. And a lot of these images were shot at ISOs around 400 or 800, and a lot were shot around f8. Makes me think that the lens that Ed may be working here maybe is an f5.6 lens. It would be interesting to hear from him about that. Maybe he's just stopping down just a little bit to get more sharpness, but at these long focal lengths, even at f8, particularly on subjects like this where Ed's close, you're still going to have a very, very shallow depth of field, which is one of the things I love about this image right away. I just love the way that focus is falling off on the blades of grass here. Just gives this a really wonderful, second or sort of third, fourth dimension into the image. Even though this can feel a little bit flat in the image, you still see a flow of focus, even on the dragonfly. Sort of amazing technically here to capture this moment, get this part of the dragonfly sharp, have a flow of focus here, create some dimension, have the focus going away on the grasses. Really beautiful in terms of the simplicity of the background. All the things that we're seeing here either repeat or rhyme ideas, color or quality of line or implied positive and negative space shape. They're either repeating that aspect of the dragonfly or just incredibly simple. Just the idea of the negative space of maybe water or sky that's out of focus. Just awesome background here. There's several other things to me that are really interesting about this image. A lot of times people that are beginners or beginner intermediates that are maybe talking to me about composition on a workshop will say, Greg, you really like this particular image and the subject was just centered. When can we sort of get away with centering? Well, you can get away with centering anytime. It's all subjective. But if you're trying to work traditionally and you're trying to appeal to people at the level of basic design theory, which is based on natural law and the things that we see all the time, then one of the things that you can do is something that Ed has done here. If you center your main subject, but you have other ideas in the image that are very dynamic, but then you get away from the feeling of static. And this is a classic example of that. You've got about a third of the image in the background that has all of these qualities of line. There's quite a lot of visual energy, and about 2/3 of the background that's obviously very, very simple, just sort of negative space, and that's it. You also have a very powerful element of design that makes things dynamic, which is both of the major diagonals have been played here very dramatically with the framing and the main subject's position. Main subject is centered in the image, almost bullseye, but you have a real powerful feeling of movement on both of the major diagonals when you look at the other qualities of line relative to the main subject being centered. And that's really beautiful. Quality of light, can't be ignored here. It's just really beautiful, even though it's subtle. There's a powerful feeling of dynamic flow to light. You see it on this feeling of sort of accent, specular highlights on the wings of the dragonfly and the specular highlights here. And you get a really beautiful sense of that on real powerful feeling of dimension and form on this blade of grass. Seeing the highlight side and the shadow side. Last thing that I'll mention here, I mean, there's so much to talk about in this image. There's just so many beautiful things from a design standpoint, but I just love the detail in the dragonfly and how this quality of line thing just sort of keeps getting smaller and smaller in the image when you see kind of the hairs here on the legs. And that's one of the things I wanted to mention. This is such a powerful part of the image where the legs come in, very high contrast, connect to the blade of grass, two of the main subjects here. So this idea of this shape, this negative space shape in front of the legs, very powerful. It's just so cool how it repeats over here in the image, and also really beautiful how you get the feeling of almost a broken blade of grass back here, and how that does the same thing, repeats these kind of L-shaped bracket shapes in the image. Real beautiful, very, very beautiful image on a lot of levels. Let's have some fun and look at the rest of Ed's really stunning, beautiful portfolio. Another insect shot here, gorgeous butterfly shot. Just an awesome combination of subjects. I mean, I look at this image and I just get lost in it. There's again, the flow of focus creates all these different sort of dimensions in the image, and that gives it a lot of depth. But I just love the fact that as I look at these different dimensions in the image, I have an experience where things are tied together. Really gorgeous, this subject back in here, the color of it and the quality of line, how that's rhyming the butterfly. I love the rounded sort of S-curve over here, how that plays in the image. Just a really sort of neat juxtaposition of the framing on this side and then more sort of this linear framing. And I think it plays just stunningly, just beautiful off of the main subject, because you have that feeling of inside of the butterfly, these real sort of linear ideas that we're seeing play out in here on this side, but then you also have this really gorgeous wing shape and this stunning sort of movement, and then that plays over here. And just technically amazing too. When I look at any kind of a wildlife image, to get even to capture anything sharp and get anything in focus, and then when you start to see images like this that have such a powerful sense of design, I know that I'm looking at a body of work that someone has spent an enormous amount of time on, and there's been tons and tons and tons of shots and lots of work, lots of patience, great job of managing all kinds of technical things to just have these two images in a portfolio. Some incredible birding shots here, a real powerful moment here with feeding, and just really beautiful quality of light and simple framing, stunning. Just gorgeous landing or taking off image here. Really beautiful quality of light. Again, there's a really beautiful luminescent sort of glow that's outlining the shape of this bird. So just really soft but still powerful quality of light in terms of creating dimension and just fantastic moment. This is a great example of an image where hard light is just working great. Just absolutely stunning. So, quality of light is totally relative to your subject. I mean, not only is this hard quality of light really beautiful on the bird and the way the colors in the background and the colors in the bird are playing in the hard light, but just the graphic quality of the shadow of the bird and the rhythm that creates, really stunning. Another incredible moment here, just absolutely amazing, just stunning, fantastic. Love the feeling of movement, of energy in this image. And another really cool moment in the image, just in terms of a pair of birds and the interaction. Beautiful isolation in these next two shots, and even more isolated here. Just a real powerful graphic shot, awesome moment. Love the framing, just love the centering and the simplicity of it. Another incredible moment in terms of feeding and interaction with an adult and a juvenile bird. A lot of tension in this one, great movement on the diagonal. I love the way the lines in the background are just playing off of the bird, where if you get back from this, it just all sort of starts to blend and becomes more abstract, and you get close, becomes more of a literal shot. Just really beautiful repetitions and rhythms, and love the atmosphere, the reflection of the sky. In this wading bird shot, and I love what's happening with just some out of focus things in the foreground to just give it a little bit more environment and a little bit more dimension. Stunning portfolio, from Ed. I want to say a big thank you to him for sharing these images with us on the Mindful Eyes Photo of the Week on the Daily Critique. Hope everybody has a great weekend.